te maunga, Mangataipa, te whenua, te aroha nui, te wharene, te tiro iake, kia tupori. A lot of us have worked in the past and worked our guts. We've had managers' jobs in farming, we've been in post offices, we've been in the best jobs available, but came home because this was a better place to be. And because of coming home, we have to go back to the unemployment benefit because there's no jobs here. And the best thing that we can do is to become self-sufficient, get our heads down, do some work, and support our families. And we have to consolidate that whanau base. And that is the important thing, consolidate your base.
It's the breakfast show at Tautoko FM with Ma Chapman and her son Cyril. This morning, Ma seems to be having a little bit of trouble with her playlist.
Okay, wash your glasses. Wash your glasses. Oh boy, what is it?
We were brought up in a time where there was no such thing as Māori culture, and for a lot of us, I suppose, towards the end of the 70s, we got older and realised that shit, we had missed out on so much, eh?
Probably the big changing point for me was the land march. It was such a hard thing to make that shift, the fear of being called a radical. People throwing things at you when you went on your march or yelling abuse at you, all that sort of stuff. It wasn't an easy journey. Quite often people say, oh, you're protesting because you want to. And I used to say, well, it's got nothing to do with the wants. If you were here where I am and you get the shit that we've had to take, you would probably never want to do it again. And from then, the stuff that I heard as a kid with the old people, it started coming back and I realised what my Kani was talking about. The land kills you, she used to say.
This passion for the land found its voice in 1988 with the setting up of Tautoko FM.
When you reach 16, while you split your town, you automatically went off. It was a sort of very much a country thing. We went off to town to make it big and to show the ones back home how choice it was, and ended up coming home again. And coming home, one of the biggest things that lacked was the communication between whanau and in the Hokianga here. There was lots of whanau grouping and hapa groupings, but no one got to hear about what was happening in the whanau. And we're just so sheltered from the real world. We went to town and realised there were just so many issues that were happening, and the whanau at home just didn't know nothing about them.
I translate everything in Māori that comes into this place, and then they send up from the office. They send the English version of the whanau, and I translate them in Māori. And I write them down. A couple of days later, oh, where's that pāuni? Go find it. Oh, Hendare, he gets all of the pāuni and take them all out of this and can't find them all.
It's been postponed, apparently.
The young ones around here, when we first started, you never hear them kōrero Māori, You say kia ora to them, they say hi to you. But after a while, a couple of years, and, drags on, and next minute, because they couldn't understand Māori. My mother, she was a real radical. When they logged the timber up in the bush up here, she was against it. And she wouldn't let the bulldozers on the road in front of our marae down here. And she lied across the road to stop the bulldozers and the trucks. We were brought up in a Nico whare. Then it had a mud floor. And we all survived, But our mums used to work hard, eh? Had no washing machines, no power, washed clothes in the creek, hammer with the stick. and that's how they used to wash their clothes in the creek. But those days were good days, comparing to these days.